Hey, I'm Chris, and welcome to my podcast. On this week's episode, I want to tell you about the time I went to West Monroe, Louisiana, and also about going to the Texas Renaissance Festival and the World Series last week. I was on vacation from my job, and I also turned, just say my birthday was 2 weeks ago on this coming Friday. Anyway, I went with my sister Pam to the Texas Renaissance Festival. She picked me up around 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and we stopped at the drive-thru at Whataburger for breakfast. We also stopped at Green Sausage House in Zabchikville, Texas, and got some cookies. We got chocolate chip, peanut butter, and sugar cookies. We spent at least 4 hours at the festival. We got there between 11:30 and 12. Saw some shows, got some souvenirs, and I ate a Reuben sandwich, and she had a corn dog. And we ended up all the way at the back of the festival when we were ready to go home. So we got a ride in a rickshaw all the way up to the entrance. And of course, along the way there were people in the way, and the driver said, coming through. People just stood there. Anyway, but we got it out, and we got home around 7. And then on Sunday, when I got home Saturday, I also watched the Astros lose Game 4 of the World Series to go down 3-1 to the Braves, which put my chances of going to the Game 6 in jeopardy. Anyway, Sunday I got up, and after eating breakfast and watching TV, I went over to Marco's Pizza and got a pepperoni pizza to eat while watching the Texans game. And I watched them lose to the Los Angeles Rams. But the Astros won. They won Game 5 to force Game 6 back in Houston. And I got the chance to go to the World Series. Anyway, I left Temple around 9 Tuesday morning. I got gas at a Rattler's store in Cameron. And I got there to Houston between 12:30 and 1 in the afternoon. I checked into the Hyatt House to spend the night. And I then went over to Mod Pizza and got a Mad Dog pizza for lunch. After relaxing and catching a nap, I drove over to left for Minute Maid Park, took the Southwest Freeway, and what should have been a 30-minute drive ended up being a 40-minute drive with all the traffic, especially through downtown. I missed a couple of turns, but I got there. I was able to park pretty close, even though the parking was $50. And the gates were already open, and I was able to go on in after the bag check, or the security check. I had standing room only tickets, and I walked around a bit to find a good place to stand. I first stood over in the outfield close to what they call the Crawford boxes, before finally going back around and standing around second base. I also got a hot dog and a program, and I really didn't miss much because the Braves won the game 7-0 to take the World Series, 4-2. They had monitors where you could see what was going on, and I also during the game went over to the souvenir shop they call the rail yard. The park, by the way, was built into an old trade station called Union Station. And they had the radio broadcast on while you were in there. and I got myself an American League Champions t-shirt, and my nephew was wanting a jersey, so I got him a Jose Altuve one. And I went back and watched a little bit more of the game. I left around the 8th inning, and then got lost going back to my hotel because my GPS went out, and it was the traffic had slowed a bit. I was able to reach for my phone, and I found that my phone had become disconnected. So I exited on one of the streets that I'm familiar with down there. I used to live there, by the way, when I was little. Lived there until I was 11. Of course, my parents did most of the drivings, but the one street I'm pretty familiar with is Westheimer. And I exited Westheimer, I reconnected my phone and got my GPS back on, and I found out that my hotel was just down the street. So I got there around, let's say, 11:30. I got me some Flamin' Hot Cheetos and some Gatorade. And then I got up around 8 o'clock Tuesday morning, went downstairs and ate breakfast. They had the continental breakfast. I had sausage, eggs, and a bagel with orange juice. And I checked out around 8:30. Then I went over to the Houston Museum of Natural Science, and I spent an hour and a half there. They had saw the wildlife exhibit. I saw the Fabergé exhibit, and I saw some the diamonds and gems that they have there. And I got a t-shirt and a thermos. And then I stopped at Checkers outside of town and had me the Big Boss meal, Big Boss burger meal. And I topped off with gas in Cameron on the way home. And I got home around between 3:30 and 4. Anyway, as I said earlier, back in 2014, I spent a few days in the town of West Monroe, Louisiana, which is famous as the home of Duck Commander and the Robertson family from Duck-Dynasty. I stayed Saturday through Tuesday, and I stayed at Red Roof Inn. And when I got there, I went and ate at Willie's Duck Diner, which was owned by Willie Robertson at the time. And I'm not sure, but I may have seen him and his brother Alan coming out of a Walmart as I was going into Walmart. And I also went over to the Duck Commander store and got actually went there twice. Went there Saturday, took some pictures of the outside, and also took a picture of their RV that they showed, which has pictures of all of them on the on it. I think it's got Willie, Cy, Jace. I think Phil might be on there too. And then, the souvenirs I got were an Uncle Si t-shirt, an Uncle Si tea glass, and the book Duck Commander Family, written by Willie and his wife Corey. And one of the times I was there, John David, who's a cousin of Corey Robertson's, checked me out. He's also the co-host, along with Cy, Justin Martin, John Godwin, and a few others, of the Duck Hall Room podcast, which I listened to the other day. And I listen to on occasion, and listen to other podcasts. Then on Sunday, I went over to Monroe, Louisiana, and they had a dinosaur show at the sports arena there. It's one of those shows where they have like animatronic dinosaurs, and I had seen one in my back home about a year or so before that. Then I see here. I also went and visited a donut shop that they had shown on there one time, that Jace and them visited on an episode of Duck-Dynasty. And then on Monday I went over to Monroe, Louisiana. Not East Monroe, just Monroe. And I went to the Louisiana Purchase Zoo. And then after that I went back to my hotel and just relaxed in my room, watched TV. I did watch, after I got back to the hotel on Sunday, I was able to catch some football. The Houston Texans were playing Dallas. That was for Houston, by the way, even though they lost. Like they did this past Sunday. Anyway, then on Tuesday, I went home. I stopped at a Starbucks and got a frap. And I think I went through the town where they finally took out Bonnie and Clyde. Well, anyway, that's all I got for this week. And I'll see you next time. That is all.